Raiders, guys.
I was opening up.
What can Bo do at this time over the next couple of weeks, particularly pre-snap in your system? This experience here in the spring, learning the offense already. What are the things you can improve on for the next couple of weeks?
I think since we're battling our defense every day, is understanding their keys, their tendencies, and they have a lot in on defense, which is great for us. They test us every single day. I think Dan and Tosh do a good job of prepping those guys on defense, and Bo gets a lot of looks each day. So, in terms of what can he do, continue to be a student of the game, make sure his body's right, his nutrition, his recovery, and then just get a little bit better each day. I know that's coach talk, but that's all we're looking for right now.
When you were pursuing transfer receivers throughout the offseason, what were the traits you were looking for? I mean, everybody wants the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the best hands. Yes, everyone wants those things. What are the things you were kind of honing in on, and why was Gary Bryant fit in that regard?
Yeah, I think the guys that we brought in, we did it because of our DNA traits. Guys that are connected to the team, that want to grow, that want to sacrifice, and they're tough players. And we feel really confident about the guys that we brought in and the current guys on the roster.
You didn't have Terrence for all of spring. What does having him healthy back bring to your offense? What does that unlock in the offense?
Yeah, T. Ferg's a great player. That whole room, I think we added some really quality depth. Terrence has done a great job of getting back to the point where he can go out there and practice and get himself ready to play against Portland State, and just excited to see what he can do for us this fall.
How has yours and Bo's relationship kind of grown over the last couple of months, from spring camp to summer camp, now to fall camp? How do you think you two are connecting on a coach-to-player basis?
Yeah, I think we share a lot of commonalities in terms of our personality, our intensity, our attention to detail. Both of us played quarterback, so we share a lot of things on the field, but off the field, he's a man of faith like I am. He's a family man. He's connected to his community like I feel I am, and he's just a great human being. So try to do everything I can to keep developing that relationship. We talk every single day after practice. I call him on my way home. He calls me, so we're always bouncing ideas off each other.
What are those conversations, those post-practice conversations like?
There's some life. There's some what's up with Izzy and Darby, our wives, and how's my family? What's Joey doing? Is he in bed yet? And then there's the, okay, what are we doing on 4 verts today? Where's the protection? Do we like how this formation is? He's as much involved in this offense as anybody, because I want him to feel extremely comfortable, and whoever's playing quarterback in terms of going out there and executing.
In both balance, getting everybody equal reps and also forming an idea of who can play, who can't. How do you handle that balance?
Yeah, so Dan does a great job. Before practice, we really chart out reps for everybody to make sure that they're equal reps. Because, this is fall camp. It's a long camp. It's hot out here in Eugene right now, so we're going to make sure guys are fresh. So we chart all that stuff before we even go out to the practice field, so we make sure that guys aren't getting overloaded. And, we follow that pretty closely the entire time.
How involved will you get with position battles throughout the entire offense? Obviously, on the QB's room, but like interior offensive line, you leave that to Malik and Mike and Cutter to do their deal and then take their input and let them decide?
Yeah, that's pretty much,
day-to-day,
Dan obviously oversees me, and I oversee the entire offense. So in terms of any position, depth, battles, and who's going out first, it'll ultimately go up the ladder. But we let Elite, Cutter, and Cab kind of start there, start blending the groups together, and then, by game 1, I'll make the final decision with Dan. We'll rock and roll.
There was a good running back rotation last year in the offense. Is there a number in your head or your scheme where you think, too many running backs, too many cooks in the kitchen? Is there a number that you have in mind?
Every great team I've been on has used multiple backs. I think if you can play 3 or 4 a game, I think that's really good. Obviously, there's going to be kind of your 1A, 1B, maybe your second, third back that are going to rotate in, but you like to keep those guys healthy. It's a really violent position, and they all have great skill sets, so we want to be able to utilize them all.
Dan talked yesterday just about playing fast, getting back into football shape. When you hear those words and those goals, what does that look like from an offense, when you hear that?
Yeah, I think we played a lot faster today. A lot of it's when you're no-huddle offense, you got to get lined up, see the signal, go execute the play. A receiver's running 40 yards down the field, you got to come back to the line of scrimmage. So there's a lot of moving parts, and you can only simulate football if you play football, right? Like I tell guys all the time, there's not a pickup league around the corner that can just go suit up and play ball. The only way you can play football and get better at it is to practice it, and then ultimately you go in the games, right? So it's obviously impossible to simulate full speed, full game reps until you go out in Autzen Stadium and play football.
He's only had a 1,000-yard receiver the last 8 years. Hasn't had a first or second round receiver in 25. He just produced 1,000-yard, almost 2,000-yard receivers. What's going to be the key for Troy, for Tez, for Trayshawn, for Gary to break that trend and to be those guys and to be that pro-level prospect for this team?
Yeah, I mean, we had success where I was at before because we were extremely detailed in the passing game. Our protections matched up, and you can never control what stats guys are going to get. And, you know, it's a great thing to have. It's really cool. Ultimately, winning is the most important, whether we got to throw it 50 times or run it 50 times. But, you know, I think we have a really good group. I think somebody's bound to hit that mark. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to hit that mark and wanting to achieve those goals. Ultimately, it's about wins and losses. But, you know, I think the guys in our room have those qualities like we did, you know, at the place I just was.
When you watch the film of practice today, what are you looking for to decide that this was an effective, productive practice for you guys?
Yeah, you know, we talked about it in our meeting today. Are we finishing? That was the major word today, was finish. And again, that goes back to getting into shape, right? Are the linemen chasing the ball on the field? Are the quarterbacks pushing the herd? Are receivers fighting their butt off to get back to get set? And then ultimately eliminating mental mistakes. You know, we're going to go up today and we're going to chart how many MAs we had, how many times was the ball in jeopardy. Those are the little things that add up to big things, and that's what I'm looking for from today's practice.
Is there any? Go ahead.
There's been a lot of hype around the fan base protecting, especially around Jorion Dickey. After getting him in town and being able to see him on the field a bit, what are your overall impressions?
Yeah, he's a football player, you know. He's got really, really good ball skills. He wants to be really good. You know, he shows up early, he takes notes. He's doing his best to be a pro. There's still a lot of growth for him. He's nowhere near ready for him to go out and produce at the level that he wants to, but day by day he's getting better. And I see a kid that wants it, and you know, he's a football player. Like, he's going to block, he's going to catch the ball in traffic. He's an exciting player. I'm excited about him.
In general, what do you need to see from a true freshman this month to feel comfortable playing them maybe next month?
Being able to get lined up, run the right route, execute their assignment. You know, it's true freshmen are, you'd love to play them all. Obviously, this is a tough game at this level. The intensity, the physicality, the emotion, the knowledge that you have to play at an extremely high level to go win game after game. It's tough to get as a freshman, but some can, you know. So just get a little bit better each day, and you know, all those kids have done really good so far.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Yep.